Welcome back guys to a new Link Evolution deck video. At long last, after months of requests, I am bringing the most requested deck on the channel, True King Dinos. I'm sure there were probably more requests for pure dinosaurs as well, but Link Evolution has placed the archetype in an awkward spot between the ban list and the card pool. Dinos are a very scary deck, as many might know, capable of summoning a string of different monsters along with their boss monster, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, who has a very disgusting disruption effect as well as multiple board clearing attacks. The deck was completely ravaged by the ban list before the update, similar to how Sky Strikers is now, but since then we've been blessed with the chance to run 3 Miscellaneousaurus, a name I will not be repeating for the rest of the video. Sadly, Souleating Oviraptor was stuck limited to 1, along with Fossil Dig being semi-limited to 2. Since the card pool stops at dual overload, we are also missing the level 1 Archosaur that dinosaur decks currently love in the card game. The True King engine isn't too big, but it does help accelerate your plays by destroying your dinosaurs to trigger their effects, and potentially give you access to the VFD, True King of all calamities. While you can run more of these True King monsters, I found it easier to just stick with the attributes we will be involved with for most of the time, so also have a chance to trigger their secondary effects. Gizmek Kaku is another level 9 extender to fit with this that was pretty cool for me to learn about, as its summoning condition is easily met through this deck or your opponents, giving you that VFD chance once again. Going into calamities isn't the only goal for this deck, however. While getting him on turn 1 can be a blessing, getting Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can be just as good sometimes, especially with extra disruption through the Volzark Sea monsters or other extra deck tools. This deck can spam out monsters quite well if you can get the right pieces, mainly Souleating Oviraptor and Lost World. This 2-card combo can lead you into a bunch of different possibilities for your future boards, depending on what you need at the time. I was put on the spot on stream to play this deck, so I did run into an issue where I spent too much time thinking about all the different plays, and it usually cost me in some type of way. You can see some of my long thought processes in replays later. While I was comfortable with the deck, the biggest help I did receive was swapping out Call by the Grave for Pot of Extravagance. While it may seem devastating to banish certain monsters, this deck does appreciate the extra draw power, so I decided to run the most important extra deck monsters at extra copies. The other key monster I forgot to run was Pentastag, the Link monster. While piercing didn't seem necessary to me on paper, getting needed materials into the grave or popping Pentastag with Tyranno for his disruption is a great scenario to be in if you've exhausted your dinosaurs. For the replay, I do have one of the best hands possible, but I do want to urge that I did not get this lucky most of the time. If you've seen my previous videos, you know the hands I'm used to getting. While I am expecting a full extra link board against Code Talkers, having both Gizmek Kaku and Dogoran is absolutely insane when trying to fight that kind of board. Miscellaneousaurus is the next best thing to have alongside Oviraptor, as it protects him from being negated in a pinch. While I'm not an expert on the deck, I did decide to always search him if I didn't have him, and if I did have him I would send Giant Rex to the grave instead, as banishing it with Miscellaneousaurus later on revives him for another material. Aside from that, attempting to pop the token with Oviraptor and Lost World lets you destroy a baby dinosaur in the deck anyway, for a free special summon, which is what we are going for. Although we aren't up against an extra link board, this is fine as well, as the result will be the same for the most part. Since we didn't draw into Miscellaneousaurus, we are going to search him and then pop the baby dinosaur in the deck for Giant Rex, who is always good to get out of the deck to start your banishing loops with him. As long as you keep getting Miscellaneousaurus or even Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, you can banish Giant Rex from the graveyard to summon him over and over again each turn, which is great. Without much effort, we've already cleared our opponent's board. As far as I know, he doesn't really have a good chance to come back either. We might have been in a position for lethal here, but I did kind of showboat here by going into Trishula, followed by VFD, which was completely unnecessary at the time. It is important for the learning process though, as sometimes you might be in a different scenario that calls for Trishula or True King of all calamities. Showing off the level 1 tuner right there, it's also possible to run Halka Fibrax along with a heavier Synchro engine through Auroradon. Did figure a lot of people will be bored with that same old combo that everyone is used to seeing, so I stayed away from it this time. It's partially good that I did skip thinking about a way to obtain lethal, and instead went this route however, as we did banish a very filthy evenly matched from the hand. If I took too long in thinking about my plays and missed lethal, I would have probably threw my controller across the room during the stream. That's going to be it for me though. I hope you guys enjoy the replays, and stay tuned for next time.